부릉부릉.
Into the Dark. It's the title of 536, the dungeon boss of this chapter. Chapter 5, Canto 5, whatever you may want to call it. It costs us 5 modules to enter. Was it 4 modules in chapter 4? I can't remember, and I'm too lazy to look it up or go back and like, literally check it right now. Let's go. I think we'll just keep our team. We're gonna take. This is gonna say like that, but we're gonna take Dawn, Faust. We're gonna switch this over to her again. We're gonna take Faust, Lobotomy, Faust, middle little sister Dawn, W Corp, Jenny, Jenny Rioche, of course, OP Heathcliff. How can he have so many strong identities? I don't know, but he's the best character, so I'm okay with it. Him and Dawn just carrying me throughout the game. I'm fine with that. We're gonna keep the Mola boat books. Ishmael. Apparently, she's one of the weaker Ishmael identities when it comes to the Ricardo fight. I've been told that base Ishmael can solo him, and so can R-Corp Ishmael. But I think in the hands of a skilled player, any of these identities most likely can solo Ricardo, because there's a weird interaction with Ishmael where she can't die in a fight, but I believe it only works as long as another identity is still alive as well. So if you, I don't know how that works if you want to solo him. But I guess if she had an identity that gained aggro, like, does this one gain aggro? No, sadly not. So she had an aggro identity, and you could take someone with you that remained stealthy, let's put it like that. Didn't clash at all. Or an identity with lots of haste, so she can take over all of the clashes. Then she will never die, and the second identity is just there to actually deal damage or keep her alive, basically. Anyway, this is neither here nor there, because it doesn't matter. We're done with Ricardo. We're never gonna see him again. So we're gonna take her. We're gonna take the DSC Association and Rodion. Sinclair, yeah. If I need him, I'm gonna whip him out. And Gregor and Otis as supported heal identities for the passes, basically.
잠수 준비 끝. 밧줄은 퀴케그의 어마어마한 악력으로, 그리고 자신만이 아는 방식으로 직접 꼬았었기에 세상의 그 어떤 매듭보다 질기고 억세다고 한다. 그리고 퀴케그는 자신을 호수 속에 혼자 두지 말라고 했다. 송장인 채로 가라앉아서 고래와 인어들에게 뜯어먹히고 싶지는 않다고.
So PEQUOD, also a character out of Moby Dick, I assume. I think I've been told so, actually. Haven't read it yet. Ishmael's best friend or something?
그건 나도 마찬가지였다. 나만이 알고 있는 그 온 살갗의 상처들을, 파헤쳐진 흔적들을, 고작 그것들이 파먹도록 두고 싶지는 않았다.
What did you do to save her then, to let her not be devoured by them?
그래서 퀴케그는 관을 만들었다.
Okay.
밧줄을 있는 힘껏 묶어서 배가 아무리 휘청거려도 자기가 잠든 관만큼은 가라앉지 않도록.
Did she step into it while being alive? Man, I have high hopes for this dungeon. So she held on to the coffin when the ship sank. Interesting. Little rubber ducky at the side there.
나는 그 관에 걸린 끈을 손바닥이 찢어지도록 붙잡고 있었다.
Couldn't she have just sat on the coffin then? If the coffin doesn't sink, it's like a little boat, isn't it? Why did she opt to just swim alongside it?
소용돌이의 호수로부터 나를 지탱한 건 비어있는 친구의 관뿐이었다.
Wait. Hollow coffin? Where's PEQUOD?
아무도
And why did PEQUOD's name elicit a reaction out of Smee? Like, what was the PEQUOD crew? Were they famous or something? And then they should have recognized Ishmael as well, right?
피코드호의 파편만이 떠있는 호수에서 나는 목청껏 부르짖었다. 아무나 대답해주세요. 이 세상에서 나와 묶여있던 사람들이 빠짐없이 전부 사라져버렸다는 걸 알았을 때 혼자 헐떡이며 숨을 쉬고 있는 내 스스로가
내 배에 올라타라. 그리고 호수 밑바닥 끝까지 가는 거다.
물을 가득 머금고 숨을 쉬고 있는 나조차도 에이헤브에게 벗어나지 못했는데 이 고요 속에서도 에이헤브의 호통은 내 목을 조이고 있는데.
Is it Ahab or Ahab? I always knew him as Ahab because that's how it's pronounced in German. Even though I never read the Moby Dick novel, I do know like the cornerstones of what it is about, obviously. Such a classic, which makes it even better that I never read it. It's on my list, don't worry, it's on my list. I just still fighting through Damien. It is good, but it can be somewhat dry, I have to say.
그들 역시 죽어서도 죽은 선장의 목소리를 듣고 있겠지.
Also, short side note, if someone can maybe write a comment as to who is Ishmael's voice actor again? Who did they voice in Ruina? Because the voice work, obviously it's been recorded at different times, but the range of her being in the water and being desperate and this calm demeanor of just the narration right now, it's pretty impressive. I like that. I like all of the voice acting in this game, actually. All of it has been very good so far. Even though I don't understand Korean, the emotion that comes across is very palpable.
나는 앞으로 불행할 때나 행복할 때나 내게서부터 뜯겨나간 그 끈들을 기억하겠지. 이 호수에 영영 갇혀버린 채로 평생을 잠겨 있겠지. 차오르는 물을 벗어나려고 해도 호흡에 들어오는 건 고독뿐.
Yeah, she must be having some major PTSD right now, I guess, entering the whale like that. I guess there's like two ways to cope with it, one of which is going crazy like Ahab, as she did early before we entered, and having an absolute nervous breakdown like she is having now.
그래서 항상 말했잖아. 줄 꽉 잡지 않으면 가라앉는다고.
Sounds like a hag. Let's see if it's a hag.
언제부터 있었던 거야?
난 여기에 있었어.
It's green, so it must be Ahab, right? Why is everyone gender bent in this story? I don't understand, but I'm all up for it as long as they're female. Ishmael's level rises to 40. Ishmael's uptime and Fred's tiers rise to tier 4. Ishmael gains compulsion at the start of every encounter. That's pretty sweet. I like these interactions with the sinners the chapters are about. That is all I want out of games like these, actually. The first thing I noticed upon waking up was the unpleasant sensation of this place. I tried to recall what Ishmael's plan was. This place is the whale. The immediate sensation upon waking up was that it was moist and cold, yet oddly warm in some places. Where are we?
강 같은 게 기다랗게 뻗어 있네요. 거꾸로 올라가다 보면
I'm proud of myself for not immediately making a vagina joke, by the way. I hope it's well appreciated. I think sometimes people get angry at me for not taking this seriously enough or something, or maybe sometimes being overly criticizing of the game. But I say this a lot on stream, not on video, to be honest. My criticism comes from a place of love. You have to understand that I am invested in this game, and because of that, I also get overly angry at it at times, or try to nitpick because I just can't be gushing all over all the time, because I would be crashing and burning if something was really bad then. something like Chapter 4 brought me down quite a lot after being very happy with Chapter 3. So I try to remain neutral and distanced. I do like the game. I'm not a fan of the whole gacha and games as a service thing in general. Also not really happy that they're making so much money with it, because it means that, in my opinion, it might mean that any upcoming game will most likely never happen, since why would they if they can make this much money with this, basically. It's always a danger of these games, of these service games and gacha games, and when studios get into stuff like that. I mean, just look at Type Moon, for example. However, yeah, maybe sometimes I'm not taking it as serious as I could, okay? I just don't think that being like 100% serious all the time is good. And if people are angry at me not being serious all the time, then they obviously haven't watched my other series of the Project Moon games, because it has a time to be serious and a time to be trying to be funny, which fails and falls flat. But the dungeon now, I will read, I will try to understand, I will try to be somewhat serious, I will make the occasional dick and vagina joke, and there's no way around that. Honglu. Hello, my friend.
뭔가 나오지 않을까요?
홍루 씨, 어떻게 매번 그렇게 침착할 수 있는 거예요?
Honglu must have seen some shit at home.
그런가? 뭐 저 친구는 언제나 저런 느낌이었던 것 같은데.
아니, 그런 뜻이 아니라 다들 여기가 어디라고 생각하는 거예요?
Have they forgotten, or do they mean where inside the whale is this?
저흰 알고 있다. 그곳의 뱃속으로 들어왔지. 우리 스스로.
That must tickle her fancy, considering that she comes from like a Greek mythology background. Not long ago.
우리가 황금 가지를 삼킨 그 고래의 속으로 들어가는 거죠.
Didn't I say this? Like a while ago? Is this what Moby Dick is about, actually? Is that where I got the idea from, and my subconscious just suppressed it and made it seem like my own idea?
미쳤군. 아까 혼자서 제일 많이 처맞고 나더니 아예
이건 내 목적일 뿐이에요. 겸사겸사 가는 길에 황금 가지가 있는 거고. 당신들 알아서 결정해요. 아, 관리자님의 결정이 제일 중요하겠죠. 아무튼 이 회사나 저나 목적을 달성하려는 방법을 모색할 뿐이에요. 그리고 딱히 이렇다 할 방법도 없잖아요.
Is he with
안
us?
그래요?
Is the Indigo Elder with us in here right now? Or did he enter a different hole?
그것이 황금 가지를 삼켰고 그 황금 가지가 그 망할 창백한 고래의 백화 현상을 중화시켜준다면 우리가 그 안에 들어가더라도 침식을 당하지는 않을지도 모르잖아요. 도박이 아이스, 그건 알아요. 그리고 그건 당신이 좋아하는 것 중 하나죠. 관리자님은 어떻게 생각하세요?
Ishmael looked at me with expectant eyes as though she knew I had no choice but to agree to this plan. What a bitch. Eyes were telling me, you came this far for the gold bow. You're not going to go back empty-handed now, are you?
6시간 그 이후로도 어떤 움직임이 없다면 LCA 팀이 그 다음 임무를 넘겨받게 될 것이다.
Why do they need us to begin with? I don't understand. It seems like everyone else is more competent than us.
LCA 팀이 넘겨받으면 그 이후로는
글쎄, 너희가 고래 뱃속에 갇혀서 나오지 못하고 있다는 불운한 소식을 듣게 되면 그 거대하고도 창백한 고래를 통째로 터뜨릴 수 있는 방법에 대해서 이야기를 나누게 되겠지. 그 이후로는 굉장히 기나긴 전투가 이어져.
Okay, so let me get this straight. If we fail to find the golden bow stuck somewhere inside the whale's stomach in 6 hours, you won't hesitate blowing us to smithereens along with the whale? Did I get that right?
이 말은 굳이 전달드리지 않겠습니다.
Why not? Faust, what do you think of our odds?
영은 아니지만 영에 수렴한다고 생각합니다. 적어도 지금 우리가 가지고 있는 변수들로는 그렇습니다.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get some ego gifts inside of there, and that makes us stronger.
가능은 하다는 거죠.
Do you have any other ideas that might get us the golden bow?
그 또한 지금으로서는 없습니다. 하지만 낮은 확률일 것으로 생각했던 방식으로 작전을 극적으로 성공시켜왔던 것은 사실이라고 말씀드릴 수는 있겠네요.
I mean, pretty much all of us melted inside Chroma's hate pussy. I don't even know. The murder mound. So, and we still came out of that successfully thanks to, like, Damien, but... Okay, then, let's get this done.
역시 계획이 없는 것이 더욱 계획적이라는 생각이 드네요.
Why does she sound so happy about this?
저만의 새롭게 세운 이론을 더욱 공고히 하게 되었습니다.
Luckily, we didn't lose any sinners on the way down. All 12 of them made it down here, just as we planned. But... Guys, where's the boat? The boat was nowhere to be seen. We voluntarily entered the Pallet Whale's moors in search for the Golden Bow. Luckily, all 12 sinners made it down here without getting lost, but where's our boat? Which is pretty much a recap of what we've just read, but these these descriptions in a dungeon sometimes don't work that well. They work better in the regular stages.
전원, 눈을 크게 뜨고 보트를 찾는데 전념하도록.
아니, 눈은 크게 뜨지 않아도 된다. 오른쪽 400m쯤에 보인다.
나쁘지 않은 관찰력이군. 곧바로 이동하지.
마지막까지 들어야 한다. 배의 75% 이상이 파손된 채로 흩어져 바닥에 처박혀 있다.
Why do we even need a boat? It seems like we can stand just fine. Are we afraid of like the stomach fluid or something? I don't think our boat can help us against that.
와, 그렇다면 이건 배에서부터 나온 조각인가 보네요.
They just want to drive the point home that Hong Lu is always happy.
다회 사용을 고려해서 만든 배였는데 말이죠.
Hong Lu was pointing at the pitiful side of an absolutely busted-looking pieces of the propeller. Well, to be exact, busted pieces of the propeller and what appeared to once have been our boat's entrance. Something comes to a sputtering halt amidst the wreckage.
기어이 숨을 거두는가. 이 장면을 봤다면 미카 양하고 레인 군이 크게 상심했을 것이요.
Something significantly changed about Yi Sang, and I can't quite put my finger on it because he still only makes very rare comments, but it feels like they, and it must be the voice acting, it feels like they have a little bit more oomph, a little bit more, not a lot, a little bit more emotion in the voice, and a little bit more, oh, it's very hard to put into words. It feels as if he's finally looking up while talking, basically. He's not talking down, even though his sprite still looks that way. But he's not talking down to the floor, not muttering to himself, but rather actually conversing. Even though most of the things he say don't even require an answer or reaction, but it feels as if he's actually finally talking to us, right? And this is... And I don't know if it's just because of the journey we've had with him, or if the writing's like somewhat changed, or the voice acting somewhat changed. If it did, it is impressive. If it didn't, it's still impressive, because due to my experiences with the chapter, or my perspective of him has completely shifted, and both things would be absolutely amazing from a storytelling perspective, I think. So, in hindsight, I do very much like Yi Sang. I didn't like his chapter, but I do like him. It's a pretty painful sight for us too.
저희 이제 어떻게 해야?
관리자님, 여전히 황금가지의 위치는 느껴지시죠?
Yeah, we need to go to the bladder and drink some piss. Do whales piss, actually? Do fish piss? In general? Yeah, unlike at the Lobotomy Corp branch, I can definitely feel that it's somewhere in here, but it's also pretty far away, so I can't tell where it is exactly.
시계를 돌릴 준비는 되어 있으시고요.
Is she... Wait, what do you plan on doing? What's that about, turning the clock? Oh. Whale's pallor had taken over their bodies and minds. Of course, it only makes sense that this place is crawling with mermaids.
비나들이 더 몰려들기 전에 자리를 벗어나긴 해야겠어.
이미 고래 뱃속에 갇혀 있는데 벗어날 곳이 있기는 할까요?
Well, we're just gonna make an entrance or exit, or entrance and exit. It really depends on like your viewpoint, I guess.
우리도 곧 저런 꼴이 되는 건 아니야? 먹힌 거잖아, 우리.
What, you're afraid of getting a little bit white gunk on your face?
지금 당장은 단테 씨의 머리에 있는 황금가지의 덕으로 수감자분들의 백화 현상은 막을 수 있을 겁니다. 하지만 언제까지 지속될 수 있을지는 알 수 없겠죠. 환경이 변해버렸으니까요.
In other words, spending too long here could turn us into mermaids, just like them. I wasn't sure if I could bring back a sinner that's turned into a mermaid. But where do we even go? I don't have even the slightest idea as to where we might be.
이상하네요. 고래라는 건 뱃속에서도 비가 내리는 걸까요?
I was still unsure where to go, so much so that I was starting to feel completely lost when Hongdo suddenly blurted something about rain. What are you talking about? Are we below the blowhole, or is it just stuff dropping down from the belly ceiling? I mean, there's not many places inside a body where you can just reside, even if, I don't know, if it's like a huge body, there might be. When I was a child, I was watching this cartoon where basically it was about the body, right? Oh God, I'm gonna have to look it up, what it's called in English. In German, it's called Es war einmal das Leben, which is pretty much means like once upon a life, I think I would translate it. Which makes no sense in that regard, I know. So it's this cartoon, and there was like this boy and this girl and this professor, and they were shrinking down and entering the bodies, and they were looking at what the red blood cells are doing and the white blood cells and the lungs, how they were working, and inside of the veins and the arteries, and what's happening inside the heart and stuff, and inside the stomach and the liver, and so on and so forth. It was basically like cells at work, but 80s Western cartoon style. It was amazing. I loved it as a child. I learned so much from it as well. Always was good at biology, and I do think it's due to me watching this thing over and over again. Well, like different episodes. So if I do take that one as a reference, I guess there are many places inside the body where smallish people like us right now compared to the whale could reside, which means that, yes, Dante, we have no idea where we are. I agree.
아, 방금 제 어깨로 물이 몇 방울 떨어졌거든요.
야, 잠깐. 우리는 이거한테 먹혔고 곧바로 떨어져서 꼬라박은 곳이 여기였지?
Right.
내가 가끔 당연한 게 헷갈려서 그러는데 보통 음식을 먹으면 제일 먼저 어디에 도착하냐?
Well, the mouth, then the throat, and then like the belly.
그거야 당연히 위장이지. 아까부터 배고프다고 울고 있는 불쌍한 내 위장. 히스클리프 씨의 질문에 대한 의도가 파악되었습니다.
So it is, as I said before, they should be afraid of the stomach acid then.
위장에선 효율적으로 음식물을 소화하기 위하여 끊임없이 위산이 분비되죠.
학교에서 배웠던 것 같아요. 무슨 강한 산이라고.
Wait. Someone like Sinclair should have definitely learned about basic biology in school.
닿는 것들을 분해하는.
Isn't that also like common knowledge? You don't even really need to learn it in school. Even Babby knows that.
아,
She knows the way of the food. You eat it, goes to your stomach, gets digested, goes through your intestines. Then you shit it back out.
그래서 물이 떨어진 위치에 옷이 녹아내렸던 거군요. 따끔하기도 하고요.
I stared at Hong Lung's shoulder. Something had burrowed a hole there, and the surrounding skin was sizzling and melting away.
우리 도착하자마자 흐물흐물해지는 것이요.
I can just life revive you, as long as it does drop on my head. Do we have an umbrella with us?
하나 긍정적인 발견을 보고드리자면 일반적인 생물체의 생체 기관과 어느 정도 비슷한 메커니즘을 띠고 있는 것 같군요.
Everyone, we gotta run! I don't care how many pieces of you there are left. Just make sure that there's something left for me to bring back. Alright, let's get through this. Snap. We voluntarily entered the Pallet Whale's Moors in search of the Golden Bough. Luckily, all 12 sinners made it down here. Wait. It's still the same. Fucking just enter. The whale's stomach acid began to rain. We had no choice but to run away to the best of our abilities. That's when we suddenly heard voices talking to us. Mermaids? And so we ran, trying to weave our way between the pouring stomach acid. It's now really coming down, isn't it? Like as if the whale's stomach is set in England or something. Without even knowing where we were supposed to go.
이야, 이거 신기한 광경인걸.
It must be other people being like swallowed before, and the acid is like on a tide and ebb and flow and stuff.
신기라기보단 수상한데요?
너무 크게 감탄을 하시는 바람에 전부 우리를 보게 되었습니다.
Who's there?
당신들 말이야. 말을 하잖아.
인어가 말을 하오.
우리는 인어가 아니야. 이렇게 말 잘하는 인어 본 적이 있어?
이들은 백화 현상이 일부만 진행되었다.
그럼 뭐야? 반인 반어?
시간이 없으니까 간단하게만 말할게. 여기는 10분에 한 번씩 왕성하게 산을 뽑아내는 곳이야.
Yeah, so it is on a cycle, okay.
너희 몸이 강철로 이루어졌다면 선택을 하는 게 좋을 거야. 우리가 내린 줄을 잡고 이곳을 빠져나갈지, 아니면 여기서 물컹거리는 영양소가 되어서 이놈이랑 한 몸이 될지.
Doesn't really sound like much of a choice, does it?
뭐, 우린 너희들이 녹으면 무기만 건져 올라가도 되니까.
몇 명은 이미 조금 녹아버렸군.
Do we even have a choice?
줄 내려, 당장!
Ugh. That rope looks fucked up. I don't even know why. They muttered something amongst themselves as though they found something funny about the situation and tossed an odd-looking rope in our direction.
이 밧줄 느낌이 영 이상한데.
Yeah, it must be part of the whale or something, like some kind of blood vessel or something, I don't know.
허파에서 뽑아온 모세의 혈관 다발이야. 산에도 1시간 이상은 버틸 수 있어.
Here we go.
그래, 왜 그런 걸 물어봐서 기분 나빠.
I mean, it can't be much worse than being inside the whale to begin with. Roddy and the grumblings into how we struggle up the bundle of capillary rope. Really rolls off the tongue. Capillary rope. Whew, I don't know who you guys are, but thanks.
야, 이번
Oh my God.
낚시는 대성공이네. 돌아가면 그마 세 개는 포상으로 받겠는걸?
Wait, there's an economy inside the whale?
이 째깍거리는 녀석은 더 쳐질 것 같은데?
낚시? 우리를 낚았다는 말인가?
우린 정기적으로 이곳에 들리거든.
He looks weird and his, like... I don't know, there's something odd about his arms. Like, it just looks weird.
하지만 절반은 인어가 되기 직전에 불쌍한 표류자들이지. 몇 분 후면 바로 우리를 죽이려고 들었어. 그리고 나머지 절반은 그냥 인어들.
저희가 특별한 경우였군요.
말도 하고 인어가 되어가고 있지 않은 선원들을 만난 건 아마 처음이야.
So, why do you guys come here every once in a while then?
이 시계머리 선원은 계속 째깍거리기만 하네. 뭐라고 말이라도 하는 거야. 우리가 이곳에 있을 동안 유행이 많이 바뀌었나 봐. 머리를 의체로 바꿔도 보통 말은 할 수 있지 않나?
Might be a dumb question because there's no way you can keep time in here, but how long have you been here then?
그러니까 저자는 그 사정이 있어서 정상적으로 소통을 못 하고 있는 거야.
그래. 사정이라는 건 각자 있는 거니까. 우리 선원들도 마찬가지야. 말하는 건 언제나 힘겹지.
I feel kind of bad for calling him weird earlier.
우리를 만난 걸 다행으로 여기는 게 좋을 거다, 자샤.
우리는 곧 이곳을 나갈 거니까.
We followed the confident guiding steps, but there was no way to look at this situation without a bit of suspicion. Where do you think they're taking us? What if they're leading us into a trap?
공격을 하려고 했다면 저희가 절벽에 올라올 때 했을 거예요. 기습에 제일 취약했을 때이니까.
They could have just left us in the acid, watched us melt, and then taken our weaponry. They didn't even need to attack us themselves.
그리고
Ishmael opened her mouth as though she was about to say something, then stopped herself before turning around. Looked like she hadn't finished processing her thoughts yet.
저 작살 분명 본 적이 있어.
그런데 너희는 어느 배 출신이라고 했지?
그게 림버스 호라고. 아마 잘 모를 거야.
Well, why didn't you just say the Mephistopheles? Because that's literally what it's called.
인어도 아니면서 왜 그렇게 어물거리지? 선장의 이름을 대라. 유사 출신이면 대충이나마 알 수 있을지도 모르니까.
우리 선장
I don't know, guys. I've never taken the helm. I'm not sure if I can call myself a captain here.
키라. 운전대를 잡는 자라면 나 알고 있어. 가론군이 선장님이요.
역시 처음 들어보는군. 시대가 많이 지났던 모양이야.
Was Karen being is Karen like in the ferryman of the Styx? Something. I'm sure I've talked about this before as well. It just eludes me right now. He scratched his head. Captain Karen clearly didn't ring a bell.
당신들 이곳에 갇힌 지 어느 정도가 지났죠?
8달.
How are they keeping track?
아니 멍청아 3년이야. 마지막으로 생게 644일째였으니까.
모르겠다. 날짜를 세는 건 관뒀어. 햇빛도 들지 않아서 시간 개념도 없어졌으니까.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole cycling of days and nights, it's really dependent on human concepts and the sun, right? If you're somewhere underground and you have a clock, it works. But there's like experiments of where they kept people, not necessarily just underground, but indoors without any way to track the outside or like sun and night and stuff. And they've just let them do whatever they wanted, go to sleep whenever they wanted, and like wake up whenever they wanted, and so on and so forth. And I think I don't quite remember what kind of cycle it boiled down to, but it did definitely change. It's not a 24-hour cycle for the regular human. I think there's like differences from person to person.
그렇군요. 제가 알기론 저런 식으로 작살의 매듭을 묶는 사람은 하나밖에 없어서.
이거 절박 매듭이라는 거야. 우리 마을에서도 노련한 몇 명만 묶을 수 있지.
It's a shame we don't see his harpoon. It's not in his sprite when it's being talked about.
그럼 이곳에 있다는 거잖아. 나 당신의 이름 알 것 같아.
Ishmael comes to a sudden stop. So do our guides. Not because of what she said. Their bodies were partially palladified, but they weren't mermaids. These mysterious strangers began leading us somewhere. Only Ishmael stopped to look at one of them curiously.
자, 피쿼드 타운에 온 걸 환영한다.
Oh wow, it's like Lovetown 2.0, isn't it? Welcome to PEQUOD Town.
선장님, 저희가 왔습니다. 어떤 걸 건져 올렸는지 보세요.
Captain?
역시 자네 수색 솜씨만큼은 나무랄 데 없이 훌륭하군, 스타버.
It is a hag. It's not my kind of hag, I don't think, but remains to be seen. A wiry old woman approaches, her harsh voice tickling our ears.
금화 2개는 자네 것이야. 한 개는 이 쌍둥이 손원들에게 넘기자고.
감사합니다, 선장님.
이 피쿼드 타운에 새로운 주민들이 온 건 무척이나 오랜만이군.
주민? 손님이 아니고?
발을 들인 순간부터 종속되는 게 당연하다 생각하는 사람의 발언이군.
역시 나는 이 불쌍한 선원들을 보살피며 이 마을을 만들고 머지않아 이들을 이끌고 마지막 항해를 나갈 선장 에이헤브다.
Ishmael!
이 순간을 얼마나 원하고 원했는지 몰랐을 거고 앞으로도 영영 모르겠지.
I guess she doesn't recognize her. Ishmael looked very different in the flashbacks.
알 새도 없이 되져버릴 테니까.
Muttering, Ishmael charged at Ahab.
열렬한 환영이군, 이스마엘.
So she did recognize her. The captain remained serene even as Ishmael suddenly charged at her.
이스마엘이라고? 그러고 보니
행에도 모르는 것들이고 선장님을 공격하다니.
본때를 보여주겠다.
다시 그 위산에 던져놓겠다.
Thank you, Ishmael. Very base. So these are new enemies. These are the PEQUOD Town villagers. Quick jabs, inflict bleeds, heal SP, deal 5% damage per bleed on target. That's pretty scary. Gain poise, heal SP, heal SP, heal SP. Poise, bind fragile, offense level up on the evade. I'm not scared. Not scared at all. These are just slightly palidified humans. Part human, part mermaid. No problem.
늦으면 미치랑 먼저 갈 거야.
There you go. I don't know what to think about, like, getting to somewhat of a civilization and Ishmael fucking it all up immediately. Not necessarily happy about that turn of events. But I guess if this is her mission, then we're just gonna indulge her. Really would have thought that Ahab would have been closer to the end of this. So it was obvious that Ishmael wants to kill Ahab, or Ahab, or whatever. But I did think that it would be like... maybe not the last boss, because I guess something abnormality-wise, or like something whale-wise will be the last boss of this. Basically an abnormality battle inside the whale, maybe like a natural abnormality. What I mean. And mind you, these people are running away when they're defeated, so they're not dead. There might be a time to talk still. Oh, we're also getting like a mid-boss or the end boss for this stage. It would be nice if it was the end boss, because we're reaching an hour of recording time. Strangers led us to a village called Peco Town. There Ishmael meets someone that she so dearly wished to see again. It's like a mid-battle because the story coming up afterwards. The strange letters to a village called Peco. We basically continue. Maybe afterwards we can talk because there's this story coming up.
변변찮은 선원들만 남았나 봐.
Ishmael quickly leaped to the side, evading a harpoon that struck the spot she was just standing on.
또 누가?
내 배 선원들은 누구보다 충성스럽지. 그 중에서도 여기 있는 선원은 세상에서 가장 훌륭한 작살잡이다.
I have to say, it's one of the first times that a Project Moon hack really doesn't do it for me. It's weird. What's wrong about this one?
그러니까 이곳에서 나를 공격한다는 건 그저 자살 행위 아니겠나?
It might be the voice, it might be the face. I'm not sure. It might be like, could be the uniform and the lack of like visible assets. Oh, this guy, however, he's really doing it for me. Look at him. He's fucking amazing. A sailor wearing an odd-looking mask joined the fray.
젠장, 저 작살 크기 좀 봐.
제대로 꿰뚫는다면 추스를 만한 뼈도 없겠고 저자 전사다.
아니 그딴 말 하면서 웃지 좀 말라고. 소름 끼치네.
Love him.